Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Pick Your Brain Podcast, a platform to showcase creatives, social issues, mental health, and community empowerment. I'm Simone.
Kyle's the name.
What up, folks? It's Mike D. What's good?
Oh, you know, it's Champ out here.
Alex said, nah, it's not the Champ.
He's like, yikes.
Bro, it's Champ for Champurrado, bro. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Let's
Chicharron.
What's up, Champ?
Let's go.
Chicharron,
Who the
what the
fuck called me Chicharron? Anyways.
Do the intro, Simone.
I did the intro.
Oh, you did the intro? Okay,
She did the
we're
intro.
gonna cut this part out.
I want to break free. Let's go.
God, no.
Okay.
All right. It is with great pleasure that I introduce one of my closest homies, especially up in the ethnic studies, world. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's the boy Chinolocs. Give it up, everybody.
Let's go.
How you doing, boy? How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Just hanging in there. It's been
How's that 200 pages per week in grad school stuff going?
Like that?
hey,
Wow.
yeah, 100, 200 pages a week. It's a lot of reading, Yeah, right. Jonathan, you're gonna cry when you go to grad school,
I mean, I'm doing my grad school applications right now, bro. I'm already crying. I'm not even in yet. So, with that said, tell us a little about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What are some of the things you like to do?
Okay. Well, as y'all know, my name is Alexander Nguyen. I was born and raised in East San Jose my whole life.
East
grew up
Side?
Yeah, East Side, right? I grew up in low-income housing, Section 8 housing, right? It's provided by the federal government. I'm Vietnamese American, so I'm a son of a Vietnamese. I think they consider refugees under some certain law, but my dad was in the war, so he was in the Vietnam War. And I think for some of y'all already know, like, my unique identity. Like, I don't really speak the language, right, as much, but I grew up embracing Mexican culture my whole life, so I really dig into everything in Mexican culture.
My boy Alex said he really dig that champurrado and that chicharron. So what's up with it, fool? Actually, wait, hold on. What do you always say in reference to tacos? What do you always order?
What do I always order? Like when I order at the taqueria, or like just the meat?
Well, I guess what you order, well, just related to tacos, because like one of the círculos de los hombres, you said it, you're like cuatro tacos, something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How you order it? How you order it? Let's go.
Yeah, I'm like, me das cuatro tacos de asada con todo, right? Which means like grab all, 4 tacos with everything, right? And so yeah, man, I'm kind of used to that vibe,
Chino.
It's from the east side. That's what's up.
Actually,
Yeah,
I grew up.
represent.
Actually, when I was young, my fam, we was in that same area, right where that Chavez supermarket, and in front of like I always forget what it's called, but the pond, the lake, that sort of stuff. I was in the apartments in front of over there.
Ooh. I met Alex in elementary school in the east side. What's your most iconic moment of us, Alex? Tell Alexander, tell the podcast. Tell the podcast.
Okay. So I swear, man, every time I think about how we met, it's always the Chronicle of Narnia. It's always your allergies too, right? So Chronicle of Narnia, you sold me for that for like $5 or something, if I recall.
I remember that.
Well,
Wait,
wait,
Chronicles of Narnia, like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Yes.
Yeah, Lion
I
the Witch and
sold
the
it for
Wardrobe.
$5.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
wait, you sold it?
Like, sold the movie?
Yeah, I saw the DVD.
yeah, yeah. So
I
you
was a
sold
little
that to me,
hustler back in the day.
and then you. I remember when we ate lunch together, right? Like I was saying, like, hey, like we're having some fish sticks today and everything, right? And like, oh, I'm allergic to fish. I'm like, what? What do you mean you're allergic to fish, right? I was like, how? Like, and I was like, you're Filipino. Like, what do you mean? Don't y'all love
You're allergic to
don't y'all love
seafood.
fish? Just like second grade Alex, right? Knowing Kyle, and it turns out, you have hella allergies.
Bro,
now
I do.
that I know.
Yeah.
We're best friends. We were best friends in elementary. It was cool. That was a cool time.
God. And before anybody tries to cancel Alex, just remember he said second grade Alex. We on to better things now, you know what I'm saying?
Come on now.
So I mentioned it. ago.
You mentioned it.
Mentioned it.
Chap my ass. I'm just kidding.
I mentioned it, as a songer,
Yes. Let's go.
So I mentioned it before, but you're in school right now. And what specifically are you pursuing?
Yeah, so I'm at the University of San Francisco in grad school for Master Arts in Teaching, Urban Education, and Social Justice, right? So the goal as of now is to be a future high school teacher, right? Back in East Side San Jose, right? It's just a goal. I don't really think it as like a dream, right? I don't see it as my dream. It's just a goal for me as of now.
A goal is a dream.
I don't know.
It's one
about
aspect
that.
of dream. We can move on. We can get bigger dreams. That's one aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
That would be dope. You could be an educator. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I dreamed of playing for the Broncos, but that ain't happening anytime soon. I love pizza way too damn much for that.
But you're still the champ, though. You're still the champ.
Let's go. Champurrado, let's go. Oh, so question, what specifically made you go into or orient yourself into high school, teaching high school? Because in my case, right, like I'm studying Chicanx studies, but I'm looking into, community college, university kind of level. What about high school level enticed you into it?
I mean, I've been thinking about college as well, but I think for high school, I first started getting interested when I used to teach biology, right? I was a biology tutor.
Oh yeah.
In high school, and I don't know. It was just for me when I was just tutoring students. I had to get to know my students before I get to teach the subject of biology, right? Like who are your students first in the communities they come from, right? And then you teach them the subject, right? You build a better relationship with them, and just from there, I just enjoyed it. I just really enjoy seeing students like at that moment, at that time, like passing, but really, really enjoying, I guess, learning. I guess, right? Learning like not just from the textbook, but I was teaching biology from like, oh, hey, this is bio. Like we do biology. There's biology everywhere in everyday life, right? So to make them reflect what's happening in the world with biology, right? And I think from there, I just started to just be interested in doing it in the high school setting, right?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. All right, so we got to bring this up because I already mentioned it at the beginning. Chinolocs, bruh. Chinolocs, homie. Where did that come from? You know what I'm saying? Because when I met you, I forgot who said it, but somebody mentioned it in class, and I was like, wait. I was like, yo, hold on, bro. Like, I don't know if he's cool with it. He's like, bro, he's the one who came up with, or like he let us know about it. And I was like, what?
That's my contact name of you, bro.
No, remember the last day, our last quarter at the end, like I said it, and you're just like, what the hell? Like, remember freaking boy? You're just like, what the? So yeah, how it came. Growing up in East Side San Jose, we had hood names growing up, right? And we were just naming some folks right in the crew, and it came to me. It was like, okay, you're Asian, so we're just gonna call you Chino, right? I was like, okay, I'm not Chinese though, right? It's like it don't matter, right?
You're Asian. You're Asian.
Yeah, you're Asian. No, this is like when we were kids, right? It's okay, Chino, right? And it's the looks. There's two versions. Either like I was kind of a bit like crazy as a kid growing up, right? So Chinolocs, or the place we live, it's called Lockridge, right? There's a gang called the Lockridge Boys growing up, right? And just that street has, for me, has like history for me, right? So that's where Chinolocs came from, right? And it's really meaningful to me because I really look at it as like, this is the community I came from, right? And it's really a big reminder, like, hey, don't forget where you came from, right? Don't forget who fed you, right? Don't forget that your community has wealth, right? And I still use that name till this day, right? And some of the old homies call me by that name.
Chinolocs.
All right, so I want to ask you folks out there in the studio, bro, what kind of nicknames y'all get back in the day?
AKAs. What are your AKAs?
Mine is C Money.
C Money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was a shout out to Angelo, because in class, what's this called? I had a class with a person named Angelo, and at first he thought my name was Simone. And then because I would help him out in math and stuff like that. And I was like, you know, my name's Simone, right? Or he was like, oh, I didn't know your name was Simone. I was like, yeah, it's Simone. He was like, the whole time I thought it was Simone. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to call you C Money. And so it kind of stuck. And I changed my Twitter name to that. And then like everywhere I went, especially like my friend Richard, he would just be like, C Money. And like the posters that people made for me for track was C Money. So, yeah, I don't really use it anymore, but sometimes people call me C Money and I forget. I'm just like, oh, shit.
See money. Hella catchy.
Mine was Tommy Guns. So,
Tommy
yeah.
Guns.
Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Guns was my AKA. So, I used to bartend and I used the name Tommy. And then everybody just called me Tommy Guns. You know.
Tommy Gunn.
I was about to say, were you flexing on some champ level stuff?
Yeah. But it's funny, like, it's been a while since I used that name, and then people be calling me on the streets like, yo, Tommy. And I have forgotten about it, so I would just keep walking. And there was an incident where, like, there was an event, and I walked past this guy for like 3 or 4 times, and he was calling me, I guess he was calling me Tommy, like, at the whole time. But then until, like, he actually stopped in front of me. He's like, are you Tommy? I was like, oh shit, that is me. That is me. And so we caught up. So yeah, Tommy Guns.
Tommy Gunn, okay.
People just, when they make fun of me, they be asthmatic, inhaler, peanut, seafood. But no actual nickname. I mean, if anything, asthmatic, but that's because it's my DJ name. But whenever I'm in a Mexican environment, like back in McDonald's, they didn't call me by Kyle, they called me by Cayo. Cayo. That's how they call me. Like even like yesterday, I visited my friend in Madeira, and they're like, Cayo. I'm like, Cayo's over here. I'm like, it sounded so natural to me because that's what they used to call me in McDonald's with my Mexican coworkers all the time. Do you know why they would say it like that, Cayo?
Like, are you asking me?
Yeah.
I think it has to do linguistically because like Kyle, like I can't really think of much like words in Spanish that end in "ile," and so it just sounds more like, you know, like gallo, you know, that sort of sound. And so I feel like the way they pronounce your name is if it was spelled Kayo, Kayo, you know what I'm saying?
Kayo.
Someone actually, remember when we went to the taco truck? Yeah, they spelled it like that too.
Like Cayo. I'm like, Cayo's over here.
Are you sure it's not from that Asian cartoon that there's an Asian baby? It's called Caillou.
No, he's Asian.
Caillou?
He's Asian.
Cayu's not Asian.
He's not Asian.
He's white.
Is it? Oh, I guess I thought. There you go. Caillou.
And then Jonathan, you're Johnny Churro, right?
I mean, I started off with for the longest time for my middle school, I was Chicano because I found out the term and I was like, oh, that means Mexican American. Wait, that's me. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna stick it out, Chicano. But people just call me Jonathan. Rarely people call me Johnny. But then when, you know, I was like, you know, we were spitting bars out there on the lunch tables, bro. I was like, I got to get a real MC name. And my first name was so stupid. It was, it was MCTC.
What does that mean?
God, I'm so embarrassed. I was like, you know what? It's gonna be stand for MC Tupac Chicano. You know what I'm saying, bro? So stupid.
Imagine if you popped off with that name.
MCTC.
Raising the bar?
Raising the bar, you say?
And then one day, I was like, I mean, still as I am right now, right? I was like, man, this is so fucking stupid. And then I was playing Pokemon and I was like, all right, I got to come up with something. I love the MC at the beginning, but I got to come up with something. And I was playing Pokemon and then I was like, rapper. What am I? Dark skin. Churro. MC Churro. And ever since then, that shit stuck. And so kind of similar to you, Mike, right? When people see me on the streets, they're like, MC Churro, or some assholes call me Muck Churro. I'm like, bro, I'm not a McDonald's item, bro.
Chris, my cousin says that to you all the time. Chris always says that to you, Jonathan. Muck Churro.
Muck Churro. Ugh. Some people do it because they don't understand the MC part, but other people, majority of people do it. They want to piss me off. I'm like, you fucking won. But yeah, that was ever since I think my sophomore year, junior year, MC Churro. That'd be the name.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
AKA.
So I better not hear y'all call me.
Here's a
MCTC.
challenge. Here's a challenge. Let's call each other by our nicknames the whole podcast.
What the heck?
So Kayo, Simone,
Kyle.
and then what was yours, Mike?
Tommy Guns.
Tommy Guns, MC Churro, and Chinolocs.
And
All right.
yours was Narnia?
No, it was fish sticks. It was fish sticks. I'm just kidding. It was fish sticks.
Okay.
You should have called me fish sticks.
No, you could literally say any item and he'll be allergic to it, so that's fine.
So,
Just say, hey, glow stick or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Everything he's allergic
Why
to.
did I say glow stick? Ah!
nasty ass.
Okay.
Anyways,
Moving on.
Anyways, so Chinolocs. All right. So you've talked about this. You started off as doing science, bio related major sort of stuff. What gravitated you towards ethnic studies? Like what made you do the switch?
Yeah, it was when I entered learning intro to Chicano studies. I was having it as taking that class with Profe. It was my second plan, right? I was like, okay, if biology does not work, ethnic studies is probably the path I'm going to go to, right? And I wasn't really seeing it that way. I was like, nah, this isn't for me. Like, I didn't really see any value within ethnic studies during that time. But 2017, everything changed, right? July 2017, I found out my mom had liver cancer, right? So I was just confused, and I was like, what am I doing, right? Like, I remember I was sitting at this exact same table, and I was like, I'm failing my classes. I feel like I'm going to drop out, right? I'm not doing mentally well. And I was having that phase, like, what am I doing? And am I a failure, right? And for me, I remember ethnic studies again, right? I was like, ethnic studies that really helped me a lot throughout my whole year, right? And we talk about Dios los Muertos, right? Day of the Dead. Well, it's not a day, but it's like a whole months, right? And I knew my mom might pass, and I had to acknowledge that. I had to acknowledge that, and I had to honor that. I had to honor her death. And I think at that moment, I knew I want to teach history and ethnic studies, right? That's the moment
Beautiful.
I switched to ethnic studies, and I'm glad where I am today.
Wow.
that's nice. Yeah, I feel like with just learning about your culture and like just hearing what your ancestors and the people that are like you went through, it's really like empowering, and it makes you want to do better in your life, because it's like, man, they sacrificed all of this and I'm here, I have it easier than them, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And it's I like how you want to teach it, because I feel like we need more teachers on ethnic studies, especially in like lower grade school levels, like high school and stuff. So yeah, that's cool.
I did want to add a question in regards to the ethnic studies. There's currently a battle to defend ethnic studies right now. And so I'm curious in terms of like, what are your thoughts, and how can we support in terms of supporting those that movement in regards to defending ethnic studies?
Yeah, so depends on what level, right? The state level in California, it's nothing you can really do much about it now. On Thursday, they passed unanimously 11-0 for the model curriculum, right, for California, for ethnic studies, right? And for some, it's that sounds like a good idea, but if you actually look more into it, they supposedly watered down a lot of the material in the whole California curriculum, right? So some of my mentors are really upset about it. Like, they changed a lot of stuff, right? And they're really upset on that. For the county level, Santa Clara County, right? That's still ongoing battle. And my thoughts on that is, they're coming from, I know people have different political sides, right? I understand that. And the attacks are coming a lot, I believe, from right-wing conservatives, right, Jonathan? Right? From right
like that
right-wing
argument that counterforce coming through?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
The counterforce. And it's interesting. It's so interesting how groups or people that have no knowledge of ethnic studies can change it, right?
Wow.
No, like they're not even practitioners, right? They don't even know what it is, right? And I'm having some folks. I'm legitimately having dialogue with some folks, right? They're saying this. They're saying, I'm not against ethnic studies, but let's not talk about ethnic groups. Let's not talk about race. I'm like, that makes no sense, right? I was like, you cannot say that. You don't agree with the fundamental values. It's like me saying, hey, I'm not against U.S. history, but let's not talk about the U.S. It's kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Straight up, yeah.
Right? It's kind of like that. Like it just doesn't make sense if you say it that way, right? And I think some of the people are not seeing the value of ethnic studies.
Yeah, and one thing I want to add too is that point right there is there's a huge right-wing conservative group that is bashing against ethnic studies, but when you look, especially when you attend these meetings, like I attended the county, oh God, the Board of Education meeting, and I just kept hearing these fucking clowns, bro. One of the arguments that is beyond stupid, most asinine argument, talking about race is racist. Wow. What the fuck kind of dumb shit is that? So it's like, okay, we can't talk about race because that's racist. But if I get called a fucking spick out in the fucking street and they're just like, oh my God, it's just, people are just, oh my God, I don't know what to say. It's like, that's so fucking stupid, And the point I was trying to get at is, as you mentioned, a lot of these folks, these clowns that are arguing against it, they don't even fucking know what ethnic studies is. They don't understand the curriculum. They don't even understand what it delves into. So it's like, how the fuck are you going to argue against this when you don't even know two shits about it? So it's like, you guys are fucking clowns.
Well, actually, I would argue that they actually know. They actually know the impact on terms of the people of color, the different groups of people, and learning about their struggles, because it brings about understanding one struggle and actually fighting for to better those conditions within a specific group of community. So they wouldn't want that. So the idea of just kind of like, no, that's not good because it's not going to benefit like people that are on top, because they would fight for something some more equitable, right? And so there's people that are economically, and sometimes it's just not white people, I mean? There's actually other group of people that are not necessarily white, but actually want to like squash the ethnic study idea, because again, there's also the class system, because if you're rich in some way, you benefit from the idea of that not allowing people to learn about their own struggles. So yeah.
Yeah. And you're not wrong there, Mike, because understandably, right, there has to be an organization, a group that pushes this narrative to get more people into it, enticed. So there are people with these agendas that obviously know about this and they don't want ethnic studies for a political purpose. But if you attend like these Santa Clara County Board of Education meetings, there are regular folks who just read off a script, but then they go off script to talk their own spiel, and it's like, these are the clowns that don't even know shit about it.
For
and
real.
like, and so it's just sort of like, it's those people who are getting trapped by these conservative groups that want to sabotage the movement. And so that's just very infuriating, because it's just propaganda that they're being hit with, but they buy it because, I'm white and, I don't want my privilege to be sacrificed. Hardy har har, mayonnaise,
That's real.
Alexander. Oh no, I already messed it up, and I'm the one who did the
Okay, you owe me
challenge.
$1.
All right, I got you $1.
Hey, you call him
Chinolocs. For you personally, right? How much of an impact do you think these changes would make to the students and everything as a whole for the next year or so? Because they're gonna start implementing this starting in fall semester for all the schools, right? Or
Which one? Which one?
the statewide level.
No, so the state one is the model curriculum, right? It is up to I believe, the districts. It's up to the districts to see if they want to implement it, right? But there's just some guidelines, right? Oh, here's some, I don't know how many lessons, for how many lessons there are. Here's some lessons, right, on this, right? Here's some lessons on ethnic studies, right? And again, the flaws of the model curriculum, what I've been told, right, or I'm trying to see more is, I guess, there is the battle between Jewish studies, right, and Palestinian studies, right, and this is just a whole big debate on that. But I think the influence on students, I mean, I don't know when it'll come, right? I don't know when ethnic studies will be the districts. It is up to the districts. I know Eastside Union High School District implemented it within a couple of years. Allen Rock School District, like the district that we grew up in, it implemented it as well, right? And it's gonna be tough. The reason is a lot of folks don't want teachers that don't even have training in ethnic studies to even teach it, right? Like they should. So they're like, hey, if you don't know anything about ethnic studies, you cannot teach this subject, right? And so people are really strict on that because this subject can be very life changing, right? As we can see, it's a very life changing subject, right? And it can legit heal someone, right? It can legit heal someone.
Yeah.
And if we have someone that doesn't even teach it, it'll be a standard again history class, right? And so the problem is having that side, right, that doesn't even know what it is to teach it. And it's a big battle because I feel like they're going to get this model curriculum and they don't even know what ethnic studies is, right? And you might think, oh, maybe this is the curriculum I got to follow. But then they find out later, like, oh, maybe, like, oh, this isn't the actual, like, legit ethnic studies, right? So it is going to be
controversial.
Huge. Yeah, it's going to be a huge battle.
I think there's a great example, right? It's Mr. Fish over here. Is a great example.
Mr. Fish.
We're going AKAs. So Mr. Fish over here is a great example because he was touched by ethnic studies, and in terms of him understanding the struggle of people, other ethnic group of folks, and his own people. Now he's out there on the streets. You know what I mean? Like fighting for a better world, in essence. But if he didn't had or able to see the ethnic studies, he probably just be hustling. Without understanding that, there's a thing that we have to fight for. So that's a great example, Mr. Fish. Let's go.
Thank you for that.
You found passion through it.
Yes, yeah. I found passion. That's literally where my heart leads, and I feel like I lead that same exact battle. Same thing with Chinolocs, MC Churro, Tommy Guns, and even C Money, as a sense. Like even through that empowerment, we created this podcast. Right? It's so crazy. We wouldn't be here today without that sense of knowing oneself,
And we're back with the PYB sponsorships. We got my boy, Vince A. Vince A., tell him about your single.
What's up? My name is Vince A. I got a new single out everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you listen to music. It's called Hold You Close, and it's about this girl. When is it not? Anyway. Thank you for watching Pick Your Brain podcast. Catch my new song everywhere, and there's a music video out on YouTube.
Facts.
What I was going to mention is that actually at Milpitas High School, one of the professors or teachers there, he will be teaching an ethnic studies course, I believe this coming fall. The district approved it and that sort of stuff. So I think it's kicking full gear this fall.
Who's the teacher though?
Mr. Lorenzana.
Oh, he's the Filipino one.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I didn't have him, but I heard about him. That's dope. Wow.
That's cool.
So I mean, there's some hope at least there, you know what I'm saying? And just adding on to the point, right? Ethnic studies is very impactful for POC children, because much like myself, going through this Eurocentric institution under these Eurocentric curriculums, bro, I felt like I wasn't shit. I felt like I was dumb. I felt like, maybe school isn't cut out for me. And then I come to find out I'm not dumb. I'm just oppressed, bro. That's what's keeping me dumb.
That's real.
There we go.
That's
and
real.
So once I learned my people, once I learned my history, my culture, I was like, you know what? That's why I cannot talk like this in the essays, dude, That's why my English is so broken, fool. I ain't even playing around and shit, dude.
Forget about it.
All right, on to the next question. God damn it.
On to the next question.
Or the absurdity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wait, we got to do the absurdity. What? It's scary. Oh.
I didn't mean to do that, but
Okay.
So
absurdity
The
of the
center.
day. Let's go.
Oh shit! Wrong one.
Wow, thanks for interrupting me, guys. I was starting. But
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. But,
It's okay. Maybe the absurdity isn't that good.
Okay. The Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism found that anti-Asian American hate crimes reported to police rose 149% between 2019 and 2020. And also, it was updated, I think, sometime this week, today. But the reports of anti-Asian hate crimes have rose to 3,800.
Holy crap!
So
Now that's fucking absurdity. That's absurdity.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
How do you
yeah,
guys feel about that?
go ahead.
Can I just say I didn't know this was the kind of I didn't know this is the absurdity we're gonna touch on. So I feel bad now for my
It's all good, don't
earlier.
worry.
It's all
I thought
good,
it was
it's
gonna
all
be
good.
some
Let's-
stupid beefalo stuff.
Let's start with Chinolocs.
No, but it's real. What's everyone's thoughts on it?
Yeah, Chinolocs. You go, bro. That's all you.
Oh, but that's on like the anti-Asian hate crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Right. I think this week it was just so hard to just do anything, especially what happened in Atlanta, and
Yeah.
I think seeing a lot of my colleagues, right, who are Asian, taking it pretty hardly. But what's interesting about what was happening for me was my identity to my Vietnamese, right, culture, right. For some reason, I was thinking a lot like, how distant have I been with my Asian identity? I had that moment during this week, right? Because you already know, right? I've been, I wasn't really connected to the Vietnamese community because I never spoke the language, right? So they kind of like pushed me away. And just today, I was just reflecting on that a lot, right? I'll just end it for there.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Man, like for me, the first one that really like clicked on social media wise was the dude who got pushed in SF for no reason, the elderly, right? And then there was Angelo Quinto, who was kneeled on by the police, and then the shooting one. It's like it's crazy because they went for our elderly, and then they went for our women. You know, I mean, the most vulnerable people in our community, right? And in a sense, if you look at the history, the deep-rooted history of what this country is and what they have done to the Asian American community, it's very deep. And it's been happening for a long time, right? Yeah, there's even a one point in my life where I was even called chink and gookin to go back to China. You know what I'm saying? So it's been happening, but just this time is just so crazy and the media coverage is there. And there's a lot of divide that is going on, but at the same time, a lot of unity. I think it's so easy to look at the negative, the negativity in both in these communities, but there's a lot of positive things coming together. A lot of political leaders and activists are coming together, black, brown, white, yellow, whatever color you may be, to unite for this battle. You know what I mean? And it's beautiful. Just today, I was able to ask a question to the son of a pastor, right, who worked with Dr. Martin Luther King. And they were saying they were going to gather up a bunch of priests together to talk about how the black and Asian community could build together. And I think the NAACP is even hosting some type of a live thing. They just hosted just today to discuss what they can do to move steps forward with everything that's going on. Well, how about y'all? What are y'all thoughts on that?
Well, for me, yes, because of Trump, his statement in regards to whether it's Kung Flu or China virus, in essence, is like everyone looks up, right, to him and then actually enacts those violence in a sense and the hate for the Asian community. But the violence against Asian community is not limited to the interpersonal dynamic within the American society. I mean, currently, statistically, there are 400 military bases across that's wrapped around China. And all those countries are Asian countries. And so there's a lot of militarization that's happening in the Asian countries, whether it's Korea, Japan, or the Philippines, and so much more, right? And because in the instance of in Atlanta, there was like some sense of Asian fetishization that's happening, right? And that's happening because of the militarization of around the world, in essence, So, and in essence, also like if I speak on racism, first and foremost, I want to do a land acknowledgement. We are in the land of Mowekma Ohlone tribe, and if I'm gonna speak on racism, I have to acknowledge what the Black community has done and struggled for that we are benefiting from now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and at the same time, I want to acknowledge from all the pain, the hurt that people are feeling at this moment in time. But what I do encourage is to really look at the history and not just keep it in the American bubble. Like there is this imperialism that's happening across the world that are actually forcing us to migrate to be in this, to migrate to the U.S. or to these first world countries to find a job and to make it and to survive in essence. Yeah. And so in actuality, like I'm a Filipino, right? And as a Filipino, like there's the high rate of depression. One of the like highest rates, the Filipino community, like the youth has like this depression, high rate depression. And then in terms of the Filipino women has the highest suicidal ideation. And this is systemic, there's a lot of, it's not just us feeling a certain way. There's a lot of us, it comes from the systemic, the idea that because we are not from home and we are outside of our home country, and that we are forced to assimilate, and at the same time we know that we will never be accepted no matter how rich we get. You will still be the same and you will never be white, period. And so that plays a lot of role in terms of like mental health and trying to be accepted. I mean, we talked a lot about in terms of like being accepted and all those things. There's also like a systemic aspect of that. And so in regards to like solidarity, I do want to share one of my favorite quote in regards to solidarity. It is the quote, not a quote, but the quote in regards to solidarity. It goes, if you come here to help me, you are wasting your time. But if you come here because your liberation is bound up with mine, then let us work together. This is the highest form of solidarity. We don't have to be hand to hand with another group of another ethnic group or another group of community. But in actuality, if we are fighting the very same system, the very same thing that oppresses us, that is the highest form of solidarity. So, but in terms of my intent, it's always, asking folks like, hey, my intent is always to educate and hope folks like learn and dig deep in regards to the history of the world, especially the history of imperialism. And so I'll leave with that. So yeah. Anyone else? Sorry.
I think you said it all.
Sorry.
God. Do you want to go see money?
You go.
I think as you mentioned, that one line that sticks out to me was from Nas rap song. So if I
he
ruled
won a
the
Grammy,
world.
by the way. Sorry.
Hey.
This is just recent?
Yeah, the Grammys were recent. That's his first Grammy, I think, ever. What? Just crazy, right?
Wow.
Go ahead, MC Churro.
Sorry.
So one of the bars he spits is, because you can have all the chips, be poor or rich, still nobody want to having shit. And that's really, it speaks volumes on the struggles of POC, right? Because our goal based off imperialism, hegemony, and just the American way, right, is like, be rich, get money, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, yeah, but even with all that money, you're still a person of color. Like, they don't give a fuck about how much money you got. If you ballin', they see a brown skin, a yellow skin, black skin, whatever, you're still below them because of this white supremacist model. And so, that's something to be wary about, as, communities of color, doesn't matter if you got money, bro. If you make it, you're still ain't shit, in this country, because that's just how racist it is. But touching on Kyle's points, right? And this isn't to belittle the situation at all. It's just an acknowledgement, right? We shouldn't be surprised of this. I mean, you take a look into U.S. history, bro. There's so many anti-Asian, legislations and, actions. You know what I'm saying? So it's just sort of like this fucking ex-president clown is a fucking idiot, says some dumb shit, and then all these fucking cowards who were hiding all this shit, now they feel emboldened. Now they're like, oh yeah, because the fucking chief, this country said it was cool, it's like, then we can go about it. And it's like, fucking clowns, so it's absurd, it's disgusting. And I think the thing is, while there's obviously some anger and just people are getting frustrated, bro, because this pandemic, has been ongoing, they're directing their anger in the wrong direction. We wouldn't be here in the fucking first place if it wasn't for this fucking orange Cheeto fuckface who wouldn't take this shit seriously back in January a fucking year ago. Because he wouldn't want to cause any fucking panic. And now we got 500,000 fucking dead people. Yeah, where's the fucking panic now? You know what I'm saying? From this fucking clown. So it's just like these fucking bastards, bro. Just like emboldened now, now they want to go attack elderly people, elderly Asian people, and all this stuff. It's like, I don't know, man. It's just infuriating, and I stand in solidarity, obviously, because I think what was that one saying you said before, Kyle? Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere.
Yes. Martin Luther King.
Yeah. So I'll leave it at that.
Simone, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, and for me, it's like scary because where would you find a lot of Asians? At a boba shop. And I work at a boba shop, and we live in a predominantly Asian area. And like, if someone were to want to do harm to a group of Asian people, they already hit up, the salons and everything. They're like, oh, wait, where's another place that's a high population of Asian people? So it's like, it's just that sorry, like I'm a person who like constantly this is gonna sound bad, but I constantly think of like the worst scenarios, which is like bad, but like I don't let it really like get to me because it's just my head running its course. But the fact that these things like actually happen is like scary. Right. So like sometimes I don't even want to be cashier because you never know, you're the first person to encounter whoever it is that comes to you. And I think for a lot of people right now that work in places that are predominantly Asian, or if you're just Asian in general, you're just scared. It's worrisome. So
yeah, it's real. That's real.
Yeah.
Especially an Asian and then a woman also that adds on to that. So it's real. But anytime you can call us if needed, anything. If you're feeling unsafe, feel free to just hit us up.
Yeah. Let's do a moment of silence for all the Asian American attacks and the very recent one of the 8 Asian women who were killed in Atlanta. And then we'll have Jonathan go to the next question, okay? All right, y'all. Jonathan, what's the next question, brother?
Real quick. Because, I don't want to leave a conversation with a cloud overhead and feeling despair. Just know there's already work happening in regards to our community. There's already work. So there's women organizing, there's youth organizing, there's migrant and workers organizing. They're organizing for divesting, funds in regards to like community services. So we can redirect our anger, our pain, and our hurt to something actionable. And so please hit us up if y'all are interested in organizing. So thank you. Go ahead, bruh. MC Churro, let's go.
So going back to, your whole role, Alex, and, what you're doing and all that sort of stuff. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years. Wow. Well, still in East Side San Jose, right? Born and raised here. Probably gonna die here, probably, likely, right? Like, no, I say that. I was like, you know what? Like, when time comes, it comes, right? When I leave this world, it's gonna happen. I know that. I know it for sure, right?
Hopefully not in 5 years.
Not in 5 years.
You're right.
We want to see you at the beach at the background of your picture. That's where we want to see you in 5 years.
No.
But for reals though. Probably still teaching like East Side San Jose, and because I'm really like embrace the journey, not the destination, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully, I'm really interested in like creating like an anthology, right? Like a collection of stories with my students, right? Telling our community stories, right? Like have every year. I don't know. At the end of the year, maybe we just write a piece about like our communities or our memories and just put it in a scrapbook and have it as a class.
Beautiful.
So I really want to do that. And the thought of teaching in college, I'm not really sure, but people told me to go for my PhD, and I don't. I don't know. I really don't know, like, if I'm gonna go for that, right? But
Thank you,
I
man.
guess just living. Yeah.
You're the
living.
first dude. You're the first step. Educators are the first step to everything, man. For ultimate empowerment. So thank you for doing.
You will
that,
touch
man.
many lives.
You will, bro.
So know that and know the responsibility.
Yes, it's like,
Put it on heavy like that.
I mean, I'm not there to. I don't say I'm there to inspire students. I don't really believe that. I don't really see myself like, oh, I'm there. I'm gonna go there to save them. No, I'm not saving my students. Like they have the tools, right? But they just haven't been used, right, to amplify in the classroom.
Yes.
Right? And I'm not there to inspire them, right? And I'm just maybe there to guide them as I could, right? Because if they don't like me, they don't like me, right? And there's nothing. I'm not taking it personal, right? Because especially for high school students, there's a lot going on in high school already.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's all I want to say for that.
Give him the tools.
Damn, bro. I really asked my boy Alex, where do you see yourself in 5 years? He said, dead.
He said possibly dead.
When my time goes, it goes, right? No, but I've been doing
Damn, 5 years.
Sheesh.
like, well, okay.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
I just want to say though, like, I just want to show like I care and love my community so much, right? And just to show people that hey, I did something, right?
Yeah.
Like we can do something in our communities, right? Like
Hell yeah.
at times I feel people are like, we can't do anything. But like, no,
Yeah,
we
right.
can at least do something. We can do
Yeah.
something, right? So
Facts, bro.
that's why I say like that. Definitely, like I am happy to know like I did what I could
Yeah.
in my moment. That's why.
Yeah. You've always been like that, bro. You always say that, so I know it's real. It's for sure real. You mean that?
My boy Alex said, can't do nothing to our community. Not with that attitude, bro.
That's right. That's right.
I think for me, one of the things that I thought about when I thought about teaching at college, university level was sort of the issue of censorship, because you have to be careful about how you teach young children, you know what I'm saying? Like adolescents, right? But like, if they're younger than 18, I'm just gonna put it like that, right? You got to be careful because like, they operate under a different sort of guideline and model of work framework, you know what I'm saying? And so like you have some like bitch ass parent be like, oh, like, I don't really like what you're teaching, you're saying all white people are bad, yada yada yada. I'm like, didn't y'all come up with capitalism, bro? I mean, we in the fuck shit we are because of you, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, their white fragility just shows. And so that's sort of like the issue I have when I thought about teaching high school, just because I'm like, I got to deal with all these fucking parents, bro. And like, God damn.
Yeah. I do want to touch on, there are poor white folks also struggling. So it's a must, like in the same way that the Black Panther created like rainbow coalitions to address the class struggle of all people, including white people, because there are poor working class people also. And so, yeah. It is really the system, not necessarily the people. So, let's go.
Yeah. I don't know about a PhD program, bro. I'm just like, dog, I don't know how I'm passing my research class, bro. I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah, research is heavy, man. It's a lot of work.
Oh my God. Research is like pineapple on pizza for me. It's just not gonna happen,
Chinolocs, I got a question for you, bro.
What's up?
All right. So what is one thing that you would tell a person from the East Side that's been told their whole life, you can't make it, you'll never be something? What's like a piece of advice you would tell them? And if someone from the East Side is listening, you know what I'm saying, you can always look back to this.
I think there's a lot. There's a lot I would say. Right? I mean, there's so many things in my mind. I would say, but I feel. I think, especially from Eastside San Jose, we tend to think that our community is like poor, right? We tend to think our community has a lot of crime. We tend to like devalue our community a lot, right? And we tend to go somewhere else, right? To go somewhere else for wealth, right? And I understand, like, helping with families, right? And that thought, but I think for me, it's like that our community has wealth, right? It may not be materialistic wealth, but we have culture, right? Our culture has so much wealth, right? Our families, right? Like the family wisdom we learn, how we navigate through this world, how we resist it, right? How we aspire our hopes and dreams. Like that is wealth that no one can buy. No one can buy that, right? And I think what I would say a lot to East Side students is maybe giving back to the community, right? You make a living what you get, but you make a life of what you give, right? And I think working community is so powerful, right? And it's up to the person to determine what success means to them, right? But for me, I think success isn't leaving your hood, isn't leaving your community because society tells you gotta leave, right? Because it is a poor, ghetto community. But it's for me to nurture the future generation. Maybe that's why I would say just one thing I would say to someone from East San Jose.
Nice.
That's beautiful, man. Anything else you want to say before we end the podcast? Chinolocs?
Damn, it's already the end.
Yeah.
Man, time goes so fast.
I know.
Oh my God.
Great storyteller, man.
So many advice. I'll just keep it to one, right? One advice. Actually, two. I'll do two, right?
Bro, it's your time.
Make it three. Let's go.
Do all what you want, bro.
But people will always tell you what to do, right? But it's always up to you what you want to do, right? I think so much in my life, people are just like, don't do this, right? Like, don't be this, don't be a teacher, this and that, right? And I was getting like, you always got criticized, got make fun of, right? And just for me being a future teacher, I always got criticized for that, right? And then when I got to UCLA, everyone was like, oh shit, right? Everyone's like, damn, like this guy's going places, right? When I got to UCLA from my master school, everyone was just shocked, right? And now they're all like, oh, I want to be friends and everything. Like, nah, So I think to do what you want to do, right? Because society's always going to push you. And lastly, before you leave this world, know who you are, your history, your ancestors, right? And to know that every day is a blessing, right? And to remind yourself that every day you wake up, that you are a blessing and you are sacred. And I'll end it there.
And we hope that's not in 5 years.
Oh, man. Knocking on wood.
Knock on wood, bro. Let's live. We got work to do.
Chinolocs, thank you so much, brother. It was a great time having you and having you educate us about the battle with ethnic studies right now. And thank you for being an educator and giving back to the East Side, bro. That's where I'm from too.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Anything else? Want to say anything to Chinolocs? Fish Sticks is out.
Hey. I love you, brother. Keep it up. Keep doing the work.
Keep going.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you soon. Chinolocs.
Peace.
Hey.
It's a good theme song, though.
Hey.